Hello everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel. I'm here to talk about the latest episode of Star Trek PICARD. This is episode 8, isn't it, of season 2, titled Mercy. So let's talk about it. Okay, before I begin, two things. Number one, I've done a video the other day building the Playmobil USS Enterprise. Now, you can go and check that video out. It's not far down my list of videos. I'll leave a link in the description below. It was a fantastic build. It's a fantastic model. I thoroughly enjoyed building it. It is huge. I was blown away by the size of it. And yeah, it's just brilliant. I've done a time-lapse footage build of it. So, like I said, go check that out. Secondly, I want to give a channel shout-out for a reason. Now, a friend of mine, a good YouTuber named Matt, over at Matt V's Movies, go and check out his channel. He's got a wonderful channel, does some wonderful content on there if you like physical media. He gifted me for my birthday this. It's a retro VHS version of the pilot episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine in a numbered box like this. Now, obviously I have Star Trek Deep Space Nine on DVD. Shame we ain't got a Blu-ray for it. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is my favourite Star Trek series. I love it. It's, you know, even Next Generation. I love Next Generation, but this just edges it out for me for reasons. But yeah, so it's nice. I haven't got a VHS player anymore, but being a physical media collector, it comes from an era of long forgotten physical media, and I did collect VHS back in the day, but I haven't got none. So it's a nice sort of retro memory, something to keep hold of. So go and check out his channel, Matt V's Movies. Again, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Now, we're close to the end of this series now, only a couple of episodes left. So what have I got upcoming in the next 2 episodes? Next episode, I'm going to take a look at the casting of Q in this series. We're going to have a look at those calls that were made during the casting, and in the final episode of my review for this series, we're going to have a look in the writer's room and see what went on there when they decided to create this series. But yeah, this episode here, Mercy, episode 8, season 2, Star Trek PICARD. Where do we begin? Obviously, Picard is over his filler episode from last week with all the nonsensical mind stuff that went on. Yeah, so now Picard and Guinan have been arrested by the FBI, and they're taken into this underground FBI hidey hole where you got loads of files and crap like that, to be questioned by this FBI agent the whole way through, who turns out to have a history with Vulcans, believe it or not. Very convenient. Yeah, and this is why he's become an FBI agent and why he tracks down wannabe aliens and all this sort of a nonsense. At the same time, we've got 7 and 9 and Raffi in a search for Jurati. Yeah, Jurati's out there kicking around with the Bull Queen inside her, slowly turning into a Bull Queen, wanting to assimilate and all this sort of a thing. So 7 of 9 and Raffi, you know, they're outside the bar where the Bull Queen or Jurati had created all this trouble, and luckily for them, they ain't got to do a whole lot of searching. No, all they got to do is go down an alley and around the corner and they find her. Yeah, feeding on some car batteries. Yeah, again, very, very, you know, convenient that she ain't gone very far. Yeah, but she managed to escape their slip, obviously. And then she goes off to visit Data. She goes off to visit Data to you know, get his help. Well, I say Data, Sung, innit? Do you know what I mean? To go and get his help in creating a new Borg army. Yeah, Data's daughter, she has a visit from Q through this sort of holographic interface image that Q's implanted a sort of story of himself inside some data on there. I don't know. I don't really know. And she gets her freedom medicine. gifted to her by Q. We come to find out that Q is actually dying because while Guinan is imprisoned without Picard, while he's being questioned, she has a visit from Q because she summoned Q in the previous episode. So he turns up. We find out what we already know anyway, is that he's dying. Yeah, so, you know, yeah, that's going on as well. What else is going on? Elnor, you know, you've got to fit him into an episode somewhere because he's part of the main cast and he hasn't been in many. So we've got to give him something to do. So we have a little flashback with him, a little something else for Raffi to kick around with beyond, you know, hitting on 7 of 9 and their little relationship becoming a little bit better and this sort of a thing. You know, but yeah, so this episode does play in a bit of psychology about the human condition and why humans live in the past and how we're the only race that live in the past really and hang on to things that have occurred individually to us historically, and we have to fight to get over that and move ourselves forward. Picard found it very easy to escape the clutches of this FBI agent, indeed. You know, it's just a little chat and he's out the door. There we go. Now, I've been told by one of my commenters that nothing happens in this series without reason. Yeah, nothing happens in this series without reason, but plenty has. Plenty has. Yeah, no, it's all leading to the bigger thing. But I love the fact that this episode actually highlighted the fact that stuff has happened without reason. Yeah, so all this stuff with Picard being arrested by the FBI and all this sort of a thing, it's all filler. It's all nonsense. It's all rubbish. It doesn't lead to nothing bigger. And Raffi says it herself when Picard and the Guinan are back in the bar. Raffi walks in and said, "Where have you been?" to Picard. And straight away she says, "Never mind." Picard, where have you been? Never mind. I don't need to know. It's not important. It's not important to us as characters in the story. It's not important to the story. That is what we're getting from this series, people. That is what this series is giving us. Nonsensical writing. Nothing happens without reason. What nonsense. Everything in this is happening without reason. Lazy writing. This programme it started off well. Season 1 of Picard was boring. But I mean, it was boring. This season started off a lot better. And that's why we're going to visit the writer's room next week. Is it next week or did I say the week after? I can't remember. No, next week we're looking at the cast. In the week after we're going to look at the writer's room. So yeah, we're going to establish how they came about this series. Now, yeah, like I said, that sentence says it all for me. I'm glad that the writers didn't even have time to let Picard tell them, even off-screen tell them what has happened to him, because it's so damn unimportant. Star Trek's in a state. Star Trek's in a bad state at the moment. These programmes are not good. They're not written well, and you know, I'm coming from a place where I love Star Trek, and I keep watching because I want something. It is the only Star Trek we've got, and I want something more from it, and thusly I will keep watching. Thusly I will keep reviewing. And you got to remember, art is subjective. Yeah, and film is art, TV is art. You know, I'm not going to knock people for liking the series. I understand that people get something out of it and they're probably getting a lot more out of it than me. And that's fantastic for them. It really is. But these are just my opinions and what I'm getting from the show at the moment. It seems very cheap to me, this series. Like, not a lot of budget has gone into it because it's all set in modern day. So you haven't got to have sets. You haven't got to have special effects and all this sort of a thing. You know, the most interesting thing about this series to me is what it's doing with the character of Jurati and the Ball Queen. But I guarantee you that by the end that will all be rectified and Jurati will be back to normal. It will all amount to nothing and that reset button will be hit. I'll be very surprised if they do anything other than that, unless they feel that she's such an underdeveloped, boring character that they have to do something drastic with her. But considering that there's only one season left and it's going to involve all of the original cast, it might be that they've decided to jettison some of the cast from this series at the end of this series. Again, that'd be a brave move if they decided to kill some people off. I'd have no issue with that, and I'd take my hats off to them for doing it. But part of me just says that all these people will be back yet again in the next series. That's how Star Trek generally works. Anyway, that's me done. Let me hear your comments down below on your thoughts on this episode. Also, hit the subscribe button. Come back, join me next week where we, like I said, we're going to have a look at the casting part of Q, and then week after we're going to look in the writer's room and see what went through their little minds when they were developing this here Star Trek series. This is AJ. Thank you for watching. Like I said, leave a comment. Positive, negative, whatever. I can handle it. See you on the next one. Take care all and goodbye.